Now please welcome Fred Nichols, who will sing our national anthem. Please rise as you are able and remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. That was wonderful. Now, please join me in extending a very warm welcome to the 10th Chancellor of the University of California, Nicholas B. Dirks.
Thank you, sir. Graduates, families, friends, and guests, welcome to the University of California, Berkeley, and to our spring commencement. As Berkeley's 10th Chancellor, it is my great honor and pleasure to preside over the celebration of the graduation of the class of 2017. Graduates, today is your day. Today we celebrate and honor you. Your family and friends will photograph you endlessly, and you won't even have to be told to smile. And I'll take, I promise, as many selfies with you as I possibly can, all right? Okay, deal? Today we recognize you for your passion, your perseverance, and your accomplishment. All these enable you now to join and renew the long line of alumni reaching back to 1868, whose lives are forever entwined with our great university. Today, you become one of 485,000 living alumni who can call themselves UC Berkeley graduates and Cal Bears. The entire Cal community is proud of your achievement, but today no one is prouder than those who have stood by you with their understanding, their love, and their support. Graduates, please join me in thanking your families, your partners, your children, your friends, and your mentors, everyone who has helped pave the way for your arrival here today. Now, I have to confess I hold a particular affinity for the class of 2017. It is, in a way, my class as well. 4 years ago, I came to Berkeley alongside many of you to begin my tenure as chancellor. And this summer, I'll also move on, though in my case, to join the ranks of the Berkeley faculty. Like many of you, that is, I'm not going to move that far away. Who would if they could stick around, right? But while I'm sure none of us would trade our experience at Cal for the world, our years together here have no doubt been marked by challenge and change. The Berkeley campus is facing unprecedented financial difficulties after years of stagnant funding by the state of California, threats of reduced federal funding for research, and a loss of political support for our great research universities. We are under fire sometimes for refusing to back down from commitments that we see as inseparable aspects of our public mission, such as our strong support for undocumented students. And because, though we are a public university, we stake our identity on remaining competitive with the very best of our private peers. That is, we're under fire for the fact that we hold to our twin goals of access and excellence always. We also continue to have other challenges that we are continuing to work to meet head-on. We have had and continue to confront serious issues related to sexual violence and sexual harassment on campus, the pressures of a housing shortage and a red-hot real estate market that poses serious challenges for students around basic needs, the need to educate large classes of students with the personalized attention, support, and resources that you need, and the process of making the campus more genuinely welcoming and inclusive for all communities and all identities at a time when certain national trends make this even more difficult and yet more important than ever. Most recently, as you know, Berkeley has been singled out by some extreme groups from opposite ends of the political spectrum that have few reservations about turning our college campus into a political and sometimes literal battlefield, particularly when it comes to provocative speakers with whom they passionately disagree. But on this front, let us be clear. The university's commitment to free speech is non-negotiable. We honor our tradition as the home of the free speech movement, but we are also committed to maintaining the physical safety of our campus community. We know that these paired commitments can be upheld because throughout the years we have done so. We have welcomed and hosted speakers from across the political spectrum without problems or controversy, at least when those speakers come without the objective of senseless provocation, but rather real engagement with you, the faculty, and our campus groups through impassioned debate about the great issues of our day. But that being said, we will continue to host any speaker invited by legitimate campus groups, subject only to the need to make sure we can protect safety. And we will do whatever is necessary to ensure the continuation of full and robust free speech at Berkeley. Okay? So while the road has sometimes been bumpy, and yes, there have been literal fires we've had to put out, I'm proud of the work we have accomplished together. And I mean we. Members of your class have been instrumental in some of the university's most important endeavors over the last 4 years. It was the efforts of survivors and student advocates who helped the university critically examine our policies and procedures for handling cases of sexual assault and harassment, and begin the process of improving them. It was the work of the Black Student Union and other groups that, in partnership with the administration, helped us create the Fannie Lou Hamer Resource Center and craft the African American Initiative. It was our student athletes' discipline and diligence in the classroom that enabled us to make a cultural shift regarding academic success in our intercollegiate athletics program. It was the interest of our students that drove us to create a new set of courses and programs in data science. It was our student groups who modeled strength and resolve in support of our undocumented student population. And it was you who helped to clean up the mess, literally, left by rioters in the wake of the Milo Yiannopoulos event, as well as you who attempted through student groups like Bridge USA to use dialogue, not violence, to cross the partisan divide. Thank you. Now, Berkeley is no ivory or ivied tower. It's a campus that not only lives in the world, but seeks to make a better world. We know that our university must engage with different and often polarizing ideas and issues, not shelter students from them. We are committed to maintaining our public mission through our full engagement with the public sphere. It is a defining quality of our students on this campus, that you do not sit idly by when you see the need for change. You reflect on the issues, you consider solutions, and you confront problems in all their complexity and with all their deep and enduring difficulty. You live the words of James Baldwin, who said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." You've done that as Berkeley students, and I know you will continue to do that as Berkeley grads. Now, as you move off campus, away from the comforting embrace of a share tea boba, at a Berkeley haunt on a hot afternoon, got to keep trying. You must now be the leaders to whom the world turns as we seek to navigate a future that is being transformed so quickly by new technology, expanding globalization, resurgent nationalism, changing social and economic structures, new cultural and political threats, and dangerous political and environmental trends. The key, I believe, is not only to remember your education, but to activate it by being unafraid to imagine new futures, by matching those actions to those dreams, and by anchoring yourself and your communities to an abiding moral compass. And I bring up these challenges that Berkeley has and continues to face to remind you that as life takes you beyond Sather Gate, Berkeley itself still needs you. As our relationships with the university change this summer, it is vital, absolutely vital, that we all keep Berkeley close, remain committed to it, support it, speak out about why it must be supported, and yes, cherished. For Berkeley is not only the best university in the world, it is also the most important university in the world. The University of California was founded here nearly 150 years ago as part of a monumental American experiment based on the belief that a nation benefits collectively from broad access to excellent higher education, that society is more just and morally sound when the possibility of social mobility is afforded to all based on merit and not origins or family circumstances, and that democracy thrives when all of its citizens, not just the privileged, not just the elite, have the opportunity to garner, perfect, and produce the intellectual tools necessary to fully engage with the issues of our day. And this philosophy continues to guide us as our North Star. Graduates, you cannot know where the future will take you, but as you go, know that Berkeley will be there with you. We hope and expect you will be there for us as well. You are now part of the greater Cal family, whose members help sustain each other and the university in order to ensure that for many generations to come, Berkeley will continue to open doors to a better tomorrow for all of us. Graduates, may you be the bearers of Berkeley's torch, carriers of its influence, promoters of its spirit. May the education you have received here serve not just your lives, but your society well in the years to come. May your lives be richly rewarding and fulfilling, and may you all enjoy much happiness. Congratulations, good luck, class of 2017, Fiat Lux, and go Bears! So, it is now, we'll do that later. Okay. It is a Berkeley tradition to present at commencement the Elise and Walter A. Haas International Award to honor an alumnus or alumna who has a distinguished record of service in and to his or her native country. This year's awardee is alumnus Todung Mulia Lubis from UC Berkeley. Todung Mulia Lubis is recognized internationally and in his home country of Indonesia as a champion of human rights and the rule of law, in which he has upheld the fundamental values and aspirations of the University of California. His work with human rights, action against corruption, legal reform, and legal development has been recognized by national and international bodies across Indonesia, across the globe. He has continued to challenge the dominant authoritarian paradigm privileging private economic development over traditional rights. He is, in other words, a true champion for change in the world, and we are so proud to call him a Berkeley alum. It is with great pleasure I present the Elise and Walter A. Haas International Award to Todung Mulia Lubis. Please.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So I give you this.
All right. Thank you.
And this is the check. Okay. Please make some brief remarks.
Chancellor, graduates, and big families of University of California, Berkeley. It is always nice to be back in Berkeley, small town that I will never forget in my lifetime. It reminds me of my school days at Berkeley Law School back in 1977-79, attending classes, seminars and discussions, writing papers and drinking beers, of course. Going from one class to another class and from one library to another. You know what I mean? I really enjoy my good time in Berkeley. I was assigned by my Dean of Law School in Jakarta to study economic law. And Professor Richard Boxbaum was so generous and kindly took me to his class and introduced me to other faculty members. But at the same time, I took a class on human rights by Professor Frank Newman and immediately fell in love with the subject. Professor Newman provoked me to stand up for the oppressed, to fight for human rights. And Indonesia at that time was known as a country where human rights violations occurred on a daily basis, and that has to be stopped. Professor Newman showed me the Indonesian Human Rights Report published by Amnesty International and also by the US State Department. He said to me, "You are Indonesian, and you know Indonesia better than the others, and therefore you should publish your own human rights report. it was a challenge indeed. And when I returned home, I started publishing the Indonesian Human Rights Report in 1979. And that was the first human rights report on Indonesia prepared and published by Indonesians. Since that time, our civil society, as well as National Commission on Human Rights, annually publish Indonesian report on human rights. Thanks, Professor Frank Newman. I guess that was the turning point of my life. Initially, I wanted to become a big-time corporate lawyer, but I ended up as legal aid lawyers, giving legal aid to the poor and the needy. Later on, I expanded my social works to legal reform, electoral reform, anti-corruption, and fighting against wrong kind of populisms, religious fundamentalisms, and radicalisms. In addition, I still teach at the law school and travel throughout Indonesia to preach about human rights and anti-corruption. I set up Transparency International and also Amnesty International branches in Indonesia. I do have a boutique law firm, but to tell you the truth, I spend only 25% of my time doing my professional legal works just to fill up my time sheet. Most of my time I dedicate to my dreams, that is to strengthen human rights, to clean up the country from systematic and endemic corruption, and to fight against erroneous populism and religious fundamentalisms, intolerance, and radicalisms. This is my life, and let me be honest with you that I have still a lot to do. I still have a lot of unfinished works. So when I was informed that I've been named as recipients of Alice and Walter Haas International Award, I was surprised, speechless, and didn't know what to do. Do I deserve this? Of course, I feel honored, and this is an honor that I've never thought of, even in my wildest imaginations. Thank you, University of California, Berkeley. I thank you for granting the award to me, and I promise to you that I will keep the honors and I will continue my unfinished works. Thank you to all of you. Thank you especially to Professor Boxbaum and Professor Tiwon for being so kind and supportive. I also thank my wife, Damiati, my son, Tondi, and my daughters, Oriza. You all have been so instrumental in making me into what I am today. Thank you.
So each year, we honor our finest teachers by awarding them the Distinguished Teaching Award through a very rigorous competition. The recipients of this award are truly great and truly inspired teachers. So it is my pleasure to announce to you this year's Distinguished Teaching Award recipients. Please rise when I call your name. Michael Manga, Earth and Planetary Science. Tarek Zodi, Mechanical Engineering. Ian Duncan in English, and Khalid Kadir in International and Area Studies, and Carlos Narenya in History are not here, but please give them a round of applause as well. Now it gives me great pleasure to acknowledge awards to some of our very, very many outstanding graduates. Please rise when I call your name. The Jake Kimball Prize goes to Justin Murphy of Men's Crew. The Anna Eppenshad Prize goes to Maddie Kerr of Women's Volleyball. Now, the highest honor the university can give to a student is the University Medal. The following students are our University Medal finalists. And please come forward when I call your names for your certificate. Are they in order, or can you just, yeah. The University Medal finalists are Helia Bidad. Congratulations. Sorry, it's gonna blow away in the wind. Congratulations. Gianna Cirolia. Just put this, just hold it down. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Tucker Hoffman. And Sam Kumar. Now it gives me great pleasure to present the University Medal to the most distinguished graduating senior on the Berkeley campus, Grant Schroeder. Grant, congratulations. Got to take your hat off. Whoops. I'm going to present it to you. No, Grant, aren't you you got to speak too, right? Yeah, come. So, I now invite Grant to share a few words with us. Grant, over to you.
Thank you, Chancellor Dirks. I got it. We're good. Graduates, I am humbled to stand before you today. As a triathlete, I like to think of our journey through Berkeley as a triathlon. But instead of swimming, biking, and running, I propose that our odyssey consisted of questioning, vulnerability, and orientation. And as we look back from today's finish line, I encourage us to think about the profound influence that Berkeley has had on our development. Much like the turbulent and disorienting swim start in a triathlon, our Cal experience began with a phase of questioning. As a freshman, I had my fair share of questions. Which dining hall has the best food? What is a GSI? How the hell do I find my way out of Dwinelle? And of course, turned down for what? The more questions we asked, the more we learned. I remember realizing that a month's worth of laundry does not fit into one load. Quinoa is pronounced quinoa and not quinoa. And coffee truly is the elixir of life. While our basic questioning may have subsided, Berkeley has encouraged us to keep asking the important questions. Most recently, when violent protests accompanied the invitation of certain conservative speakers to campus, we had to ask, how can we promote free speech and public safety at the same time? There is no clear answer to this question, yet our dedication to wrestling with pressing issues is why the rest of the world watches us. Free speech is not dead, and Berkeley is not a bubble. I would argue that it is a place of continual renaissance, where conflicting ideologies engage on the highest stage of intellectual rigor. In the spirit of Berkeley, as we move forward, I encourage us to continue asking and grappling with the important questions. In phase 2 of our journey, the phase of vulnerability, every single one of us experienced challenges that shook us up. As a privileged white boy from Southern California, I often shy away from discussing personal struggles, but I've come to realize that no matter how fortunate I've been in the grand scheme of things, it is okay to be vulnerable and fall back on others. In my freshman year, I experienced the devastating loss of a high school water polo co-captain and friend, and I internalized much of my sorrow. I then struggled to let go of playing water polo, a lifelong passion, to pursue other academic and research interests. I also had my first real experience with love and heartbreak. All of us were rattled in some way during our time at Cal. As we think back to our hardships, let's thank our family, friends, and mentors, many of whom are here today, for their unwavering support. In a very literal example of me breaking down, at the Collegiate Triathlon National Championships in Alabama a few weeks ago, I gave it my all and collapsed 150 yards from the finish line with a 107-degree temperature. I thought my race was over. Then, in an epic display of sportsmanship, two competitors sacrificed their finishing positions to escort me across the line. This story is the perfect metaphor for an important lesson I've learned at Cal. By embracing vulnerability and the support of others, we can accomplish much more than we can alone. Graduates, with tremendous resilience and the help of our families and friends, we've succeeded in graduating from the #1 public university in the world. In the final phase of our journey, the phase of orientation, Berkeley made us aware of our passions and skills and oriented us toward an appropriate future direction. Most of us somersaulted into Berkeley, overwhelmed by endless opportunities and possible trajectories. But in navigating through Cal's diverse class requirements, interacting with professors, and so much more, we've been appropriately guided down a path that matches our interests. For me, I stumbled into an exciting research project in the Harlan Lab that sparked my interest in regenerative biology. I'd eventually like to utilize this research and my background in athletics to bring preventive medicine into orthopedics and target early disease indications before they become chronic. Graduates, we've successfully completed our triathlon of questioning, vulnerability, and orientation. We've made it to the finish line, and we are now equipped with tools to address important problems, and there is clearly no shortage in the world today. I encourage us to confront these problems with the bravery, wholeheartedness, and intellectual rigor that Berkeley has bestowed upon us. Before the rest of our lives commence, I hope we take this celebratory time to reflect and appreciate. I am incredibly thankful for the opportunities Berkeley's provided me, the friendships I've made, and the memories I will carry. And I'm especially thankful I've made it through this speech without collapsing. Even though I know my Cal family would help me back up. Graduates, congratulations on all of your accomplishments. Good luck in your future endeavors, and as always, go Bears!
Thank you, Grant. That was wonderful. Congratulations to the finalists. Now, please welcome Andy Keaton, Matt Kochich, and Tanisha Mokit, Class of 2017 Gift Committee, with a special presentation to the university.
Hello, class of 2017 graduates, families, and friends. The senior gift is a tradition that stretches back to 1874, when the senior class raised $48.10 for textbooks. It is our honor, as the representatives of the Senior Gift Committee, to present to you the 2017 class gift.
This year, over 1,100 seniors donated to funds and departments all over campus. Whether it benefited the Student Learning Center, the libraries, undergraduate scholarships, or a department or major, the money we raise together will make an impact on thousands of Berkeley students for years to come. Whatever your reason for giving, thank you for doing your part to help Cal's future stay golden.
Now, on behalf of the class of 2017, it is our privilege to present this check of $70,054 to Chancellor Dirks. Thank you, and
And
go
go Bears!
Bears!
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. This is a truly meaningful gift. And we thank you. We thank the gift committee. We thank all of you. This is the spirit of generosity and commitment and dedication to Cal that you've already shown and we will continue to rely upon in years ahead. So thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Marissa Fong, and I am your Class of 2017 Senior Class Council President. It is my honor to introduce you to our keynote speaker, Maz Jobrani. Maz Jobrani, UC Berkeley, Class of 1993, is a stand-up comedian who has performed all over the world and on many late-night shows, most recently The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He stars in a new CBS sitcom called Superior Donuts and has had 5 stand-up comedy specials, including I'm Not a Terrorist, but I Played One on TV, based on his best-selling memoir about growing up as an Iranian American and his quest to make it in Hollywood. Jobrani recently filmed his first original Netflix comedy special at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. that will premiere this summer. He has co-starred in many films and made guest appearances on several popular TV shows. He is also a regular panelist on NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and has given 2 TED Talks. The class of 2017 chose Mr. Jobrani because of his outstanding work to change perceptions of what it means to be an immigrant in the United States. Through his comedy and observations of our culture, he is helping to advance public discourse on issues of race and tolerance, and he is doing so admirably through laughter and fun. We appreciate his tireless work to challenge stereotypes and for making it acceptable and even funny to discuss them. As a highly accomplished Cal alum, we are delighted to have someone who's been in our shoes and experienced some of the same struggles we've faced through our times at Berkeley share wisdom and life advice with us as we graduate. Without further ado, please help me welcome Maz Jobrani.
Holy moly donut shot. All right, hey Cal, what's up? Woo! Thank you, Marissa. Thank you. You mispronounced my first name. You said Maz, but then you corrected to Maz, but then you gave up and went with Mr. Jobrani, so I appreciate that. Wow. Wow. Chancellor, faculty, staff, parents, students, and Ann Coulter, welcome to the graduation ceremonies of UC Berkeley 2017. I'm kidding. She's not here. She's not here. Don't worry. She's not here. But maybe she's watching. Maybe she's watching live streaming. Hey, Ann, they let me speak. Ha ha. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, baby. That's what happens when you're not saying stupid stuff. Anyway, graduates, congratulations. Today is your day, all of you, after 4 arduous years. Some of you 5. After 5 arduous, some of you 6. After 6 arduous, a few of you 7. After 7 arduous, if you've been here 7 years, you probably don't know what arduous means. So, after 7 hard years of work, you're graduating. Congratulations. You're on your way. Today is about you. So let me spend the next hour and a half telling you about me. No, it won't be an hour and a half, about 20 minutes. Anyway, guys, I gotta tell you, I can't believe I'm giving this commencement speech right now. It's very surreal to me. I graduated from UC Berkeley almost 25 years ago. Yeah, man. Go Bears. And I still can't. Back then, I never would have imagined that I'd be up here giving this speech. When you first invited me to give the speech, I immediately accepted. I was honored. I was excited. And then the next day, I started freaking out. Yeah, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? I'm a comedian. I don't want to write a speech. I mean, if it was almost like I'd given myself a homework assignment. Yeah, I mean, I dropped out of a PhD program to not write homework, but here I was. Yeah, and the worst part of the homework assignment was that if I did not turn in this homework assignment and complete the speech, not only would I not graduate, but you wouldn't graduate. Yeah, it started weighing on me and I started getting nervous. I was losing sleep. I actually couldn't figure out. I said, why did you pick me? And then I found ways to calm myself. For example, I thought, well, I don't even remember who gave my commencement speech back in '93. Yeah, and then I thought, well, you guys remember who gave your commencement speech here today? Well, no, I thought most likely no, because most of you are probably stoned. Yes. Thank you, Cal. Thank you. That made me feel much better. And if you do remember who gave your commencement speech, then you just need better weed. Now, guys, I prepared for this speech, and in preparing for this speech, I went online and I did some research. I found that Cal alumni and researchers have won 90 Nobel Prizes, 45 MacArthur Fellowships, 14 Pulitzer Prizes, 117 Olympic gold medals, and 20 Academy Awards. Yes. And yet you picked me to give your speech. I graduated from Cal in 1993 with a bachelor's in political science and a minor, poli-sci, and a minor in Italian. Yes, I have won 0 MacArthur Fellowships, 0 Nobels, 0 Pulitzer Prizes, 0 gold medals. I haven't even won a bronze medal. But I'm that guy from the CBS sitcom Superior Donuts, so I'm giving the speech. Yeah, it didn't make sense to me either, man. Guys, listen, I had to dig deeper to find out what really happened. And I was told that you tried to get Barack Obama. Yeah. Now, see, that makes sense. But when he said no, you settled on me. What are you guys, lazy? What'd you guys go out to the first African-American president of the United States of America? He said no. And then you go, well, who's someone who's looking for more Instagram followers? Someone who'll do this and won't say no. Call Maz, he'll do it. And you know what? You were right. I am looking for more Instagram followers. Here, come in, let's do a selfie real quickly, everybody. Here we go. Get close, I'm gonna tag all of you, hold on. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, hey! And one with these guys, hey! All right, now I've got the picture, but I still don't know why you picked me. I thought, in all honesty, that maybe you guys picked me because I'm a Cal alumnus and I could tell you some facts about Cal that will make us all feel good about UC Berkeley. For example, you guys probably know about this, Cal, Forbes just ranked Cal as the #1 value college in all of America. Yes. Which has your parents breathing a sigh of relief going, woo, we got our money's worth. At just under $13,000 a year, your parents could have been driving around the past 4 years in a Jaguar XE. But instead, they sent your ass to Cal. Yeah, so you better get a job soon and pay them back, or at least start working as a Lyft driver and give them free rides for 4 years. That's value for your money. Just this year, Cal scientists figured out why shoelaces come untied. Yeah, I read that in the Daily Cal and I thought to myself, you can get a grant for that? And then I thought they should have just paid me. I have kids, I would have told them to double knot it, duh. Now, Cal is not just an academic behemoth, but it also has great sports. Yes, Cal is ranked #1 in watching football games, Cal football games. Yes, Cal fans, we're ranked #1 in watching Cal football games and going, yeah! Oh. Yeah, oh. Yeah, oh. Usually ending in oh. But we love our team. Yes, go Bears. Now, you know, Cal's Sproul Plaza was the birthplace of the free speech movement in the 1960s and has since been the birthplace of several thousand drug deals. If Cal were a celebrity, it would be Lucy Liu. Smart, beautiful, and mostly Chinese. Yeah, the Chinese guys like that. There you go, that was good. You like that? He liked that. You can clap. Yeah, man. Lastly, here's a good statistic. Cal is ranked #1 as the top university in all of the Bay Area, beating out Stanford in every category that counts. Yeah, yes. Yes. This was a study done by me in my own head. Go Bears! All right. So it's clear that I graduated from Cal. But there's a lot of Cal alumni who aren't giving this speech today. So I thought to myself, there must be another reason why you guys invited me. And I realized the reason I was invited is most likely because I am a Cal alumnus who also happens to be an immigrant. Yes. 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 That's right, Fox News. Immigrants taking your jobs again. Yeah, baby. In a time when anti-immigrant sentiment is on the rise and we have a president who fans the flames of fear against immigrants and refugees, leave it to the students at UC Berkeley to send a message of inclusivity to the world by choosing an immigrant to give the commencement speech here today at Cal. Now, before I go any further, I know that some of you are thinking, oh no, here comes the anti-Trump stuff. And this being Cal, most of you are thinking, oh yes, here comes the anti-Trump stuff. Yeah. Let me assure you, today is not about Democrats or Republicans or independents or Green Party or any of that stuff. Today, there's only love for everybody. I'm serious. Yes, I'm serious. Listen. Even if you voted for Trump, we still love you. We do. Listen, I know immigrants that voted for Trump. Yes, I have immigrant friends who voted for Trump because they wanted fewer taxes. They ended up with fewer relatives. But still, things happen. Things happen. Speaking of Trump, if you're thinking of committing a federal crime, this weekend would be a good time to do it because he just fired the head of the FBI. Jim Comey, yeah. Easy Comey, easy go me. Trump keeps firing people. Can someone let him know he's no longer on The Apprentice? Okay, enough Trump stuff. Let's get serious. Guys, let me start by saying, and I know this is being live streamed as well, so let me tell the world, immigrants love America, all right? We love America. We run away from strife and conflict and poverty to come here for a better life. As cliche as it might sound, America is still the land of opportunity where anyone can become anything. I was born in Iran. Yes, my Iranians. Yeah. At the age of 6, my family was forced to flee the Iranian Revolution, and we came to America. Today, I stand in front of you giving the commencement speech at one of the top universities in America, if not the world. I am the American dream. Now, as many of you know, Berkeley has students from over 160 different countries, and that number does not include the immigrant students with US high school degrees. Cal was the first campus to have an undocumented students program and is the role model for dozens of other programs that are being created across the country. I know that many of you are first-generation Americans, or your parents are first-generation Americans. Yes, for many of you, you're the first graduating in your family. Yes. Guys, your parents have sacrificed so much. They've fled war and revolution and worked hard and swallowed their pride to get you here today. We have an amazing mix with us today. I know, for example, we've got Mexican Americans. Let me hear Mexican Americans. Let me hear Mexican. Yes. Yes. We've got Indian Americans. Indian Americans. Let me hear Indian Americans. Yes. Chinese Americans. Chinese Americans. Iranian Americans. Syrian Americans. Yes, let me keep it going. What else do we have? Just yell what you have. Lebanese Americans. Where are you from? There we go. We got his, he brought his flag. He brought his flag. There we go. We have Vietnamese Americans. Armenian Americans. Give it up for wherever you're from. Give it up. Give it up. Colombian Americans. Yes. Palestinian Americans. Yes. Iraqi, guys, this is a beautiful mix of people. Let's keep it going. Where's my Native Americans? Native Americans? Native Americans. African Americans. Where's my African Americans? Yes. Where's my white people? White people. White people. Yes. We love you, white people. White people, you're the rice and we are the spice. Yes. White people, without us, all day long you'd be eating meatloaf. Because of us, you have chow mein and you have sushi and you've got kebab and hummus and curry. Who doesn't love curry? This is America right here. Look at it. This is America. Now, guys, yes, give it up for you, America. This is America. Guys, my parents came to America and they brought us in late 1978. They were in the middle of their lives back in Iran, but they had to leave their home and bring the kids and work, and they had to come to a foreign land. But back then, in late 1978, America welcomed us. But then things changed quickly when Iranians took Americans hostage in Iran. And suddenly, we started getting blamed for the actions of a government that we had fled and that we opposed. Yes, things turned ugly when that anti-immigrant sentiment started coming home and hitting close to home. When I would be in the 4th grade and I would have older kids call me an effing Iranian. Other Iranians were being beaten up and shot at just for being Iranian in America. Unfortunately, this has been a part of American history for other communities as well. As we all know, Japanese Americans during World War II were put into internment camps for the actions of the Japanese government. More recently, after September 11th, Indian Sikhs were shot and killed just because they wore turbans. Even more recently, just this past year in Kansas, a man went and shot 2 Indians and then went and claimed that he had shot 2 Iranians. Our own president fans this anti-immigrant flame by calling Mexicans rapists and drug dealers and by clumping in Syrian refugees with ISIS, even though they're fleeing ISIS. Earlier this year, when the administration tried to impose their travel ban, I knew a storm was coming. The travel ban was sold as a way to keep terrorists out of America and to keep America safe. However, none of the countries that were in the travel ban had committed an act of terror in America. Again, people who had done nothing wrong were being blamed. I heard a lot of the real stories of what was happening. I heard of an elderly couple who had flown to America, to Los Angeles, with a visa to come see their son. And once they landed, they were coaxed into signing a piece of paper that revoked their visa. They were put back on an airplane and sent back to Iran. I heard of another Iranian man in Norway who had gotten a visa to come see his father, who was sick and basically on his deathbed, and his visa was revoked. I heard of a Syrian refugee family who had been living in the Middle East in a refugee camp, had been vetted after several years, told they could come to America, sold all of their belongings, and then told they can't come to America. This travel ban was not keeping America safe. It was tearing families apart and ruining lives. Hearing those stories reminded me of my own experience. What would have happened if on December 5th, 1978, when I came here with my family, they put us back on a plane and sent us back to Iran? What kind of psychological damage would that have done to me and my family if we had to be sent back into a revolution that we were fleeing? Imagine your own parents and your own grandparents. What would have happened if when they landed in America, they were sent back? How would that have changed your destiny? Immigrants and refugees are not just numbers. They are people coming to America for a better life. Yes, I believe that most Americans are good people, and if they could only hear the stories of the struggles of these refugees and these immigrants, they would welcome them rather than shunning them. If I can drive one point home to you today, it would be to put yourself in the shoes of the less fortunate and have empathy. You are blessed to be graduating from one of the top institutions in the world. Not everyone has that opportunity. So when you come across others in America or around the world who are less fortunate than you, be open to them and try to understand their experiences. Try to help them if you can. Always fight for the underdog. One of the coolest things I saw when I went to a protest at LAX against the travel ban was the group of lawyers who'd shown up and were waiting for people to arrive so they could volunteer their services to help them. Be that lawyer. Now, whether you're an immigrant or not, we're at a crossroads in American history. And you graduates are right in the thick of it. Do we keep the American dream alive and let people from around the world come to this country to make the best of their lives, or do we close ourselves in and kill the American dream? 25 years from now, who will be giving this speech? Will it be someone from Damascus or Mogadishu? Or who knows, maybe an undocumented student? Yes, I would encourage us to aim for a future America that welcomes people of different backgrounds and thrives on diversity. Now, since we're at Berkeley, I have to talk about another topic as well, and that is free speech. I'll keep it brief. As someone born in Iran, where free speech is limited and people fight for it on a daily basis, sometimes even dying for it, I would urge you to always, always fight for free speech and never take it for granted. Now, as the chancellor so eloquently put in an op-ed piece in the New York Times, I know that Berkeley recently found itself in the middle of some controversies with threats of violence and had to make some decisions about Ann Coulter and Milo Yiannopoulos on this campus. Let me tell you, in preparing for this section of the speech, I actually had to go back and read some of the writings of Ann Coulter and Milo Yiannopoulos. Oh my God, talk about torture. I mean, they say a lot of stupid stuff, so I can understand why you don't want them to speak here. However, I would encourage you to fight even for their right to free speech. I know that's not a popular thing to say at Cal, but I really feel that's a conversation we should have. And I also feel that if we let them speak, eventually they will hang themselves with their own words. We saw that with Milo, the way Milo did. Now, let me tell you why free speech is so important, you guys. I've done stand-up comedy around the world. And in 2007, I got to go to the Middle East and do a tour in 5 different countries. And whenever we do shows in the Middle East, the promoters would tell us, you can talk about anything you want, but no sex, no religion, and no politics. So we'd say, hello and good night. Or since we were in the Middle East, salam alaikum and alaikum salam. Fox News will take that clip as well and put it with the immigrant. He spoke Arabic and he took our jobs. But let me tell you, the reason they didn't want us talking politics, they didn't want us talking about their leaders in their own countries. So if you were in Egypt, you couldn't talk about Hosni Mubarak, who was the president then, but you could talk about a leader in another country. As a matter of fact, at one point, one of the promoters got word to us that the Ministry of Information had contacted them asking us if any of us had any material about Hosni Mubarak. I swear to God. The reason was a journalist a few months earlier had written a piece where he said that Hosni Mubarak was looking older these days and he'd been thrown in jail for it. Yeah. So I quickly told the promoters I have no jokes about Hosni Mubarak, that handsome young devil. But here's the thing where it comes to free speech. When I came back to America, people would ask me, what's the difference between stand-up in the Middle East and America? I would tell them, the difference is in America, we're encouraged to make fun of our leaders. In America, our late night hosts make fun of our leaders on a nightly basis because we are secure in our government. Our leaders are secure in their leadership. In America, we hold an annual dinner where the president shows up and gets roasted. And then this year, Donald Trump decided not to attend. And I thought, oh my God, we're closer to a Middle Eastern dictatorship than an American democracy. Why is President Trump afraid of being made fun of? Is he not secure in his leadership? Why is it that every time there's a piece of news about him that he doesn't like, he calls it fake news? These are tactics that a Middle Eastern dictator like Hosni Mubarak would be using in 2007, rather than a tactic that the leader of the free world should be using in 2017. So my point on free speech is that if we limit the free speech from the right, then we sound like hypocrites when we criticize our own president for trying to limit free speech and free press. Yes, let's not be the ones attacking free speech. Let's be the ones defending it. Now, I know I'm getting a little political here today, and I'm sure that some of your parents and grandparents are not too happy about it. But hey, it'll be make for good conversation over brunch and mimosas. But I'm not gonna apologize, and I'll tell you why. In many immigrant cultures, we're told not to question authority. Growing up, my parents would tell us that we have a reputation in the community and that we should just stay out of trouble and not rock the boat. But in America, we're encouraged to question authority, and I implore you to keep rocking the boat even when you graduate. Yes. Criticize our leaders and hold them accountable. Guys, the travel ban reminded me that even though I've lived most of my life in America, some people don't consider me American. It reminded them that my rights could be taken away at the drop of a hat. It woke me up. The travel ban woke me up, and I started going to the protests at LAX, and I started posting on social media. And some people that were fans of mine on Facebook would write me back and say, Maz, stop talking politics, you're gonna lose a fan. And I would write back, oh well, I would rather fight for what's right and follow my heart than sell tickets to a comedy show. I encourage you to get involved, be politically active. You know, it's easy to get a 9-to-5, put your head down and collect a paycheck. But there's so many causes out there and they need you. We all know there's so many battles that need to be fought. Immigrant rights, women's rights, Black Lives Matter, global warming, LGBTQ rights, and many, many more. Stay politically active. Though there's much work to be done, you guys, a lot of this work falls in your lap. I'm very optimistic about your future. I think you'll be more integrated and more progressive than many generations before you. I myself am Iranian American and my wife is Indian American. Our kids are confused. But they don't know the difference in color. They don't judge people based on color. Keep pushing the envelope of inclusivity. Now, as much as I'm not a religious person, I try to live my life by these 3 tenets that I've heard in the ancient Persian religion of Zoroastrianism. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Try to live your life with those tenets. I will end today on a less political note. I'm gonna leave you with a few parting tips that I've gleaned over the past 24 years since I was sitting where you're sitting here today. Let's call these final tips. Tip 1, always tip. Preferably 20% if you can. I believe in karma and that what you put out in the world will come back to you, but it also feels good. And besides, being stingy sucks and nobody likes you. Tip 2, find what it is that you love to do and do it. And only you know what that thing is. My mom wanted me to be a lawyer. When I told her that I did not want to be a lawyer, she told me, and I quote, "Well then at least become a mechanic." I swear to God. I asked her, I said, "How'd you go from lawyer to mechanic?" She said, "Everybody needs a mechanic, nobody needs a comedian." It's true. I realized my mom didn't know what my passion was. She just wanted me to have a secure future because she loves me. And I love my mom, as I'm sure most of you love your moms. But your parents don't know crap. Nobody knows crap when it comes to what you want to do in your life. Picking your passion for your life is not a secure choice, but if you can find that passion, you will be happy and you will follow your passion and lead a great life. So find that passion and live that passion. Tip 3, travel. The world is big and it's beautiful. Go see the world. And by seeing the world, I don't mean a weekend in Cabo. Go overseas, go to South America, go to Europe, go to Australia, go to Beirut, go visit Beirut, yes, Lebanon. Go visit the Muslim world. You will see that go visit the Muslim world. You will see that Muslims are not out to get you, they just want you to buy a rug. Tip number 4. Never pay full price for that rug. Always negotiate. And in negotiating, always say, "My friend," it helps. My friend, discount for me, my friend. Tip 5, kiss your parents every time you see them. Yes, kiss your parents every time you see them, especially if they're immigrants, because you never know, tomorrow they might be deported. UC Berkeley, I want to thank my family who came out today, my wife, my mother, my sisters, my friends, my old school teachers. I want to thank you for inviting me. I want to thank everyone here and congratulate them. Once again, congratulations, UC Berkeley class of 2017, and go Bears! Thank you. Put this down.
Now you see why I took out all my jokes. Thank you so much, Maz. And you know, as the highest honor the university can bestow, it is my great privilege and honor to present to you the Chancellor's citation 2017 to Maz Jobrani, class of 1993.
Wow.
Maz, here you are.
Thank you. What's your Instagram? At Maz Jobrani. What'd you think?
Now please welcome Cloud Surfing, a band made up entirely of members of the class of 2017. Honored guests, Cloud Surfing.
It's a lot of people. Our name is Cloud Surfing. We're super thrilled to be here in front of you today. My name is Winter. This is Jeff. He's joining us for our last performance, and he's been really terrific. Kush, Gabe, Varun, and Abhinav. Whatever you're right about.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
Need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, baby,
On my name,
I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry, oh baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Remember the day I set you free? I told you you could always count on me.
that day on, I made a vow, I'll be there when you want me.
Some way, somehow, oh baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. We get it almost every night. When the moon is big and bright, it's a supernatural delight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's living warm and bright in such a fine natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Like our fun and we'll never fight. We can dance and stay up tight
Thank you, Cloud Surfing, for that wonderful performance. You even had some of the stage party bopping. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce our interim Vice Chancellor, Executive Vice Chancellor, and Provost, and the Chancellor-designate, Carol Christ, who will introduce the Deans of the University for congratulatory remarks.
I'm pleased to introduce the deans of the schools and colleges of the University of California, Berkeley, who will in turn introduce candidates for the degree in course in their respective groups. Those candidates will be expected to rise as they're introduced. Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Doug Clark, Dean of the College of Chemistry.
Whoa. Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I present to you the chemically bonded, pH adjusted, energetically balanced, and thermodynamically favored members of the College of Chemistry class of 2017. I wish to salute and congratulate all of these industrious and tireless students who have defied uncertainty, both in principle and in practice, and are now receiving their degrees in chemistry, chemical biology, and chemical engineering. They have studied and mastered the elements from actinium to zirconium, balanced chemical equations while conserving mass and energy, and spent countless hours reacting, measuring, and analyzing in laboratories that have served as the proving grounds to numerous Nobel laureates, 13 to be exact. They have worked very, very hard, so hard, in fact, who can blame them if they occasionally stray from equilibrium and believe they are graduating from the University of California, at Berkeleyum, and can be heard at Cal sporting events chanting, "Go Barium!" But they always return to a stable, steady state, which has led us to the polished product that we have before us today. Regardless of where we are from, we all live in a chemical world. Our food and medicine, our energy and transportation, our local and global environment, our planet's climate, nearly everything we rely on in our daily lives is impacted by the activities of chemists and chemical engineers. It is both a great responsibility and a great opportunity. A previous College of Chemistry dean by the name of Glenn Seaborg, who also happened to be our second chancellor, a Nobel laureate, and advisor to 10 US presidents, once noted that many people believe that, quote, science should move us toward a utopian, problemless, and riskless society. This is a false notion. We live and always will live in a dynamic situation amid problems whose solutions will breed other problems. There will always be dangers, risks, and increasing responsibilities that will drive us towards a new level of excellence in all we do or try to achieve, end quote. It is now your time, College of Chemistry graduates, and in fact, all UC Berkeley graduates, to drive toward a new level of excellence in all you strive to achieve. And so, Mr. Chancellor, I humbly request that you carry out the remaining macroscopic transformation that only you can perform and grant these students the degrees they have rightfully earned along with all rights and privileges thereto attached. Congratulations to you all.
Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Jennifer Walsh, Dean of Environmental Design.
Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I present to you the ingenious, inspired, and intrepid candidates from the College of Environmental Design, class of 2017. Please rise. Originating from countries around the world and across the nation, these are the college's laser cutting, 3D printing, stream restoring, remote sensing, digital designing, transit-oriented, community empowering candidates from architecture, urban studies, city and regional planning, landscape architecture and environmental planning, sustainable environmental design, and urban design. Our graduates are the next cadre that, by virtue of their Berkeley education and the support of their Worcester Hall community, are uniquely prepared to plan and design cities that are beautiful, just, sustainable, and places that serve our everyday lives and remain forever in our memories. These CED candidates are guided by the knowledge that we are an increasingly urban planet and the conviction that the 21st century faces unprecedented threats to the global environment and deepening inequality that threaten to tear the social fabrics of society. So they boldly speculate about the future, and they sketch entire cities that we have yet to imagine or even know how to build. They design zero net energy and water buildings, green urban infrastructures and armatures, and climate action plans to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And they work collaboratively and across all sectors of society to promote values of participation and social justice that lie at the bedrock of the College of Environmental Design. Building on CED's legacy of design ethics and activism, our students and these graduates emerge as practical visionaries with the expertise and ability to guide us into the future. Now, Mr. Chancellor, I beseech you to grant these extraordinarily creative, capable, and committed students who have met the demanding requirements of our curriculum the degrees that each of them so meritoriously earned, along with all the rights and privileges thereto attached. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Shankar Sastry, Dean of the College of Engineering.
Chancellor Dirks, it's my great pleasure to present to you the candidates from the College of Engineering class of 2017. Graduates, please rise. Here before you, Chancellor Dirks, is a community of Berkeley engineers marked by a breathtaking diversity in family backgrounds, academic interests, and goals. We salute our graduates in bioengineering, civil and environmental engineering, electrical engineering and computer science, engineering science, industrial engineering and operations research, material science and engineering, mechanical engineering, and nuclear engineering, as well as our graduates in the computer science major and the operations research and management science major in the College of Letters and Science. It has been a tremendous pleasure for me and my colleagues to be part of your journey here at Berkeley. Thank you, class of 2017. Connecting this diverse community are the common threads that bind us together as engineers. We love to solve problems using our ingenuity, understanding the laws of nature, and our empathy. We look at challenges and see ways to make things better. Our engineers think about the future. You're not afraid to dream about flying cars, 3D printed drugs, food crops that could grow on Mars. But you do more than dream about the future. You invent the future. You take an idea and use your hands, minds, and your heart, and a lot of trial and error to create something completely new. How cool is that? From day one, you've embraced opportunities to invent a brighter future. Now you're leaving Berkeley to navigate and lead our increasingly interconnected and interdependent world. We need your vision and expertise and your talents as never before to build and sustain a healthy world for our children and grandchildren. We need your understanding of ethics and social justice as we introduce new technologies that carry complex implications for modern society. So before I turn you over to the good graces of Chancellor Dirks, I leave you with a favorite quote of mine from the most visionary engineer known to human history, Leonardo da Vinci. He speaks to both the dreamer and problem solver in all of us by saying, "I have been impressed by the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do." This is my very last assignment to you, the most remarkable class of 2017. I urge you to use your skills to imagine and create the world you want to live in. So, Chancellor Dirks, I present to you the electrifying, the bio-inspired, the industrious, the constructive, the nucleating, the materially substantial, and by the no means mechanistic members of the class of 2017 from Berkeley Engineering. I beseech you to grant our Berkeley engineers the degrees that they have earned with such distinction, along with the rights and privileges thereto attached. Go Bears!
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Rich Lyons, Dean of the Haas School of Business.
Chancellor Dirks, Chancellor-designate Christ, friends, colleagues, families, I present to you this class of 2017 in Business Administration, the Haas School of Business. Please rise. As I sit with my friends and colleagues up here, fellow deans, we ask the question, what are the things that we're most proud of? When we think about students who arrive in state A and they leave in state B, what are the 5 A to B transformations we're most proud of? And I'd like to just give you 2 very quick examples. And I think these would apply to the graduates of the 2017 across all of our majors. Here's one. When a student comes up to me, and I'll use starting a company as an example, when a student comes up and says, you know, when I got here to Berkeley, starting a company, they do that. Now, I do that, or I could do that. I may not choose to right out of school, but I could do that. That is not just knowledge transferred. That's an identity change. That's an identity change. What is that worth? Here's another one that I'm very proud of. When we think about what all of us seek, we are purpose consumers by nature as people. There's a point in our lives where we realize that our job is not just to feed on the purpose that great institutions and people around us provide us, but it is partly our responsibility to create that purpose. So that transformation is from purpose consumer to purpose creator. That point in our lives where we start to realize you distinguished yourselves in getting to Berkeley as individual contributors, and you realize that you will do your life's most important work by working through and with other people, and that helping them, indeed instilling an ever larger sense of purpose in the people around you, is part of your responsibility. So Chancellor Dirks, I beg of you, and this is the only time I'm going to beg of you something. I I beg of you to honor these students who have earned this degree and all the rights and privileges attached thereto. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Anthony Cascardi, Dean of Arts and Humanities.
Thank you, Chancellor-designate Christ. Mr. Chancellor Dirks, it is my great honor to present to you the artistic and humanistic graduates of the class of 2017. Graduates in the arts and humanities, please rise. You, all of you, across our 19 different departments, stand proud among your fellow degree recipients for the paths you have chosen and for the places they will lead you. You have chosen and traveled the high roads. I congratulate you because of what you have accomplished in your time at Berkeley, and I also challenge you because you are our future, the future of this university, of California, of this country, and indeed of this world as champions of the arts and humanities. Why? Because you know how to change the way people see and hear and read the world, and thereby you have the power to change those things. Because you understand what it means to open up social and historical vistas onto languages and cultures that enlarge our own because they are not our own. Because you know what it means to engage people by the power of a story, because you yourselves have been moved deeply by stories. Because you know where there is a place for fiction and where there is a place for fact, and when to argue for each. In congratulating you, I also want you to know that you have here a base of support for whatever you might do in the arts and humanities at Berkeley. The traditional Latin greeting says, Awe, atque vale, hello and farewell. I want to say farewell, but hello again. Come back to your alma mater. Venture back into Dwinelle. You know you can get out. I now beseech Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I implore you to grant upon these artistic and humanistic graduates the degrees that they have so deeply and deservedly earned. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present David Ackerley, Associate Dean of the Biological Sciences.
Biological Sciences graduates, please rise. Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I present the members of the graduating class of 2017 from the Division of Biological Sciences, the Department of Molecular and Cellular Biology, and the Department of Integrative Biology, and graduates of interdisciplinary programs in the biological sciences. You have evolved from an ancestral state on your arrival to highly derived graduating seniors, mutating, drifting, selecting, and adapting along the way to your current success. You have tackled the genome, the transcriptome, the proteome, and the phenome, all in search of your diplome. You have learned that the synovial joints articulate the metacarpals in your hand, a particularly useful capacity during exam week. And you have learned that with every lecture, whether scintillating or sleep-inducing, changes in the brain's neural connections are taking place, nubs and sprouts that will be with you for the rest of your life. You will always have Berkeley on your brain. You have toiled in VLSB, LSA, LKS, MVZ. You have tramped through Tilden, Hastings, Blue Oak, and Angelo. And you have witnessed firsthand the intricacies of life from the smallest virus to the global ecosystem. You have grappled with advances in biology that intersect with all aspects of society: privacy, medicine, genetic editing, identity, de-extinction, and the fundamental challenge of promoting human well-being for this and future generations. Now you are graduating and entering a world in transformation. The biology you have learned here will arm you to heal the sick, to discover new drugs, to prepare the world for climate change, to feed the world, to conserve healthy ecosystems, and to continue to investigate the mysteries of life on this unique and precious planet. And so, Mr. Chancellor, given these talented students' achievements and lofty goals, I beg of you to grant them, using the powers delegated to you by the Regents, the degrees that they so richly deserve, and all of the innumerable and far-reaching rights and privileges that are thereto attached. Congratulations.
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Frances Hellman, Dean of Mathematical and Physical Sciences.
Welcome, everyone. On this momentous day, Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I stand upon this fault line and present to you Berkeley's 2017 class of astronomers. Physicists, please stand up if you're here. Physicists, earth and planetary scientists, mathematicians, and statisticians. I am so proud of all of you today. With absolutely zero uncertainty and undeniable probability, these supernovae have achieved escape velocity. I was asked to make some jokes in case that wasn't obvious. These spectacular students will become the particle accelerators of our society. Innovative and creative to their explosive cores, the gravitational waves created by their discoveries will launch us all into a luminous future. These students have completed all the rigorous requirements prescribed by the faculty of the Division of Mathematical and Physical Sciences to become scientists, mathematicians, statisticians, out-of-the-box thinkers, hedge fund creators, climate change advisors, and pretty much whatever they want to be. With the transcendent powers for good that they have synthesized during their time at Berkeley, getting by with just a little help from their friends, families, teachers, and mentors, these students will make discoveries, invent technologies, teach future generations of students, and so much else. The great physicist Albert Einstein, you can't get away with one of these without a quote from Albert Einstein, said that the aim of education must be the training of independently acting and thinking individuals who, however, see in service to the community their highest life problem. To paraphrase, use your knowledge, your creativity, and your hard work to make the world a better place, the world that you want to see. And so, Mr. Chancellor, please confer upon all of these shining stars the degrees they so richly deserve, along with all these somewhat mysterious, but nonetheless we believe in them, rights and privileges thereto attached. Go Bears!
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Carla Hesse, Dean of Social Sciences.
Chancellor Dirks, I am proud to present to you the more than 2,000 students in the Division of Social Sciences class of 2017. Stand up. The largest and most diverse division of the Berkeley College of Letters and Sciences, students in the social sciences make up almost a third of this year's entire UC Berkeley graduating class. As social scientists, they understand the power of numbers and they understand the voices of the many. They come from the departments and programs of African American Studies, Anthropology, Demography, Gender and Women's Studies, Geography, Global Studies, Economics, lots of you out there, yes. Cognitive Science, even more coming. Ethnic Studies, History, Linguistics, Political Science, Political Economy, Psychology, and Sociology. These students have shown leadership in organizations across our campus, on our playing fields, in our communities, in Sacramento, in Washington, D.C., and on every continent of the globe. They understand that the challenges of our times are not only challenges for science and technology, they are also, and above all, challenges for our society. Through their studies and their commitment to public service, they have and will continue to rise to meet the compelling challenges of our time, from climate change and human migration to social diversity, inequality, and behavioral change. I therefore ask you, Mr. Chancellor, to grant these remarkable students in the social sciences the degrees they have so richly earned, with all the rights and privileges thereto attached. Go Bears, Fiat Lux.
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Bob Jacobson, Dean of Undergraduate Studies.
Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I am proud to present to you our new class of 2017 colleagues in interdisciplinary studies. Will the graduates in American Studies, Media Studies, Religious Studies, and Interdisciplinary Studies please rise? These people have spent years mastering knowledge and skills across the entire academy. They know that questions about America, about religion, about media, about life itself are not simple. They're now prepared to address them from multiple perspectives in their chosen fields, searching for truths that can only be pinned down from multiple directions. They understand that our Go Bears tradition is actually an expectation. Go, keep going, and do great things. They've worked hard on their first steps toward that, and today they are setting out to shape our complex, interdisciplinary future to be the place they want to live in. Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I implore you to grant the degrees these students have so broadly earned, because we're going to be incredibly proud of them. Tell them to go, Bears, do great things, and stay in touch with your brand new alma mater, UC Berkeley.
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present J. Keith Gillis, Dean of the College of Natural Resources.
Will the graduates of the College of Natural Resources please stand? Okay. Chancellor Dirks, I present the members of the class of 2017 from the College of Natural Resources to you. They're not the biggest group here today, but they don't need to be, because each one is a catalyst. In their time with us, they've questioned conventional wisdom, the status quo, and the faculty at every turn. They've pursued programs of study that span the biological, physical, and social sciences, the arts and humanities. They have been unconstrained by artificial boundaries between disciplines. Their interdisciplinarity gives me great hope for the future, because successfully addressing the challenges of achieving social justice, environmental sustainability, of better understanding how ecosystems or organisms function, requires both intellectual breadth and depth. It also requires courage, which they have, because the voices that want to silence what we know about the role of diet in type 2 diabetes, or the role of human activity in causing climate change, which is real, those voices are powerful, and we're counting on them to speak up against those voices. They're united by their capacity to see the bigger picture and their desire to make a better world. I am confident that they will do just that, justifying our affection and admiration for them all. To the students, thank you all for allowing the faculty to participate in this early phase of your intellectual journey. Chancellor Dirks, I respectfully ask that you recognize the achievements of these remarkable individuals by granting them the degrees they have earned from our beloved institution, along with all the rights and privileges thereto attached.
Mr. Chancellor, it's my pleasure to present Stefano Bertozzi, Dean of the School of Public Health.
Mr. Chancellor Dirks, it's my very great pleasure to present to you the extraordinary 2017 graduating class from the School of Public Health. Please stand up. The golden bear has been extinct in California since 1924, but its spirit and power lives on in this graduating class. It has been a difficult year for Americans dedicated to improving population health in California, the United States, and the globe. But the bears standing before you are up to this task. They are not satisfied with the status quo, one in which a person's zip code is a better predictor of their life expectancy than their genetic code. They seek a different world, one in which every infant born has an equal chance to live a healthy and productive life, regardless of whether, where, or to whom they are born, or whether mom has a pre-existing condition. Chancellor, these are talented, multidisciplinary, revolutionary bears, and they are emblematic of the values, the 4 values of our school. They believe in health as a right. They embody strength through diversity. Their agile creativity is proof that they think forward, and they are already changing the world, evidence that they already put impact first. Go Bears!
Last but not least, Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Jeffrey Edelson, Dean of the School of Social Welfare.
Thank you. Okay, is it time for breakfast? I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm the only thing standing between you and dinner. And I so much want to be up in the shade up there. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you the over 200 graduates of the School of Social Welfare who will be joined by 1,600 family members tomorrow night at Zellerbach Auditorium for our graduation. Today is a challenging time in our society. We've witnessed a turning away from the common good and investments in our shared lives, be it public education, our physical environment, or the degree to which we care about neighbors who have less than us. Berkeley social welfare graduates at all levels, over 90% of them who go on to work in California, are challenging those who wish to wall themselves off from those less fortunate. Our school was founded by Jessica Blanche Pajotto, who in the 1800s, her father would not let her go to college. She eventually got a PhD, the second woman to get a PhD from Berkeley, and the first woman to become a tenured faculty member at Berkeley. 100 years ago, she established social welfare. The University of Pennsylvania anthropologist John Jackson Jr. suggested that social work degree is the law degree of the 21st century. It's the social change degree for this century. After all, who advocates for the safety of women and children? Who helps the homeless get on their feet and resolve mental health issues and the trauma they've experienced? When a patient leaves a doctor or a hospital, who's in the community to coordinate care, and who organizes community resources to assist the elderly? Social workers do that. Public service in government and nonprofits is a noble profession. Social workers are at the forefront of partnering and advocating with communities to address issues, to address these grand challenges. Berkeley's social welfare faculty is ranked #1 in scholarship over the last 4 decades. Our undergraduate degree is #1 in the country, and our master's #3. Our graduating master's students have worked over 100,000 hours during their graduate studies. So graduates, it's time to tear down the walls and lead for social change. As Berkeley graduates, all of you here stand out. You will become the scholars, practitioners, and policymakers who lead the way to address the great challenges in our society. So, Mr. Chancellor, I strongly advocate, I don't beg and I don't plead, but I advocate and cajole and protest that you, sir, grant these amazing social change agents their degrees with all the rights, privileges, and perquisites earned so that they can remove the barriers in society and create solutions that will produce a just and thriving society that we all deserve. Thank you, and fiat lux.
And now, will all candidates for degrees in course rise for the conferring of the degrees by Chancellor Nicholas B. Dirks? Please be aware that the cannon will sound after the Chancellor's remarks.
All right. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the President of the University of California, and at the urging of your worthy deans, I grant you the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science. Congratulations, graduates! You may now move the tassel from the right to the left. So please welcome Huda Iftikhar, Co-Vice President of the Senior... There we are. Okay. This is one day in Memorial Stadium. We always win and the cannon will always go off. Please welcome Huda Iftikhar, Co-Vice President of the Senior Class Council of 2017 for the closing remarks.
Hello, class of 2017. We've heard the pop culture references to UC Berkeley's intellectual propensity. Remember Frank Ocean's remark, brain like Berkeley? However, Cal is more than an academic powerhouse. It's where we interacted with peers from across the globe, developed strong characters and connections through our extra activities, and overcame all all-nighters and adversity to open new doors to chance. We are entering this new world as better learners, better citizens, and better human beings. We will never compromise, never stop achieving more, never stop trying to make this world a better place. Graduates, congratulations. I'm excited to see what our futures hold. Families and friends, thank you for sharing this momentous day with us. To close our ceremony, I invite you to join Angeline Super Bowl in singing Hail to California. Thank you. Yeah.
Hail to California, alma mater dear. Sing the joyful chorus, sounded far and near. Rally round her banner, we will never fail. California, alma mater, hail, hail, hail. Hail to California,
Queen in whom we're blessed, spreading light and goodness over all the West. Fighting 'neath her standard, we shall sure prevail. California, alma mater,